is kind of made like polenta. So I have 2 cups of water in a pot that I'll bring to boil. Some people like their TZ or Tuozaafi a little sour, some don't really mind. So in the traditional homes where I come from, we ferment flour and then water for a number of days. You can either make the Tuozaafi or TZ with corn flour or millet. Today I've decided to use white corn flour, not cornmeal. Some cultures in Africa use cornmeal instead. So into a cup of water, I'm going to add about a third cup of fine corn flour. And using my pre-washed hands, I'll mix it all up. I'm going to be pouring this into the boiling 2 cups of water that I just put on fire. And in making the TZ, we have a special stirring stick that we use for it. So now that this is all well dissolved out, I'll wait till it's boiling. I have already mixed 1 cup of water with 1/3 cup of white corn flour. Some cultures like it sour, and my culture does. So in place of the fermented cornmeal that I make, I'm going to add just a little vinegar into this. You can decide to add the vinegar into the boiling water, but I prefer to add it into this, so that when it's boiling, I pour it in there. The porridge is too thick for me, so I've decided to add half cup water, and I'll let it continue to boil. Okay, there are many ways of making the TZ. If you want, you can just add your flour to it and stir it up. But I'm used to, in our culture, we fetch part of the porridge away, so I'm taking about 2 1/4 cups of porridge that I'll be using later. Lower the heat a little bit. If you don't lower the heat and add the fine corn flour, you're going to get lumps in your TZ. For the TZ, I'm going to be adding about a cup of the flour in here. I will be stirring very fast to prevent lumps from forming. Stir it very fast around. If you want, since it's okra, we prefer the TZ to be soft, but I'll prefer to make it in between soft and hard for easy swallowing. If you want the TZ a little softer, it should be fine. I want it slightly harder, so I'm going to add a little more flour. Stir it around. It makes it harder to stir though when you add a little more flour. You have to move it around, press it against the pot to prevent lumps from forming, or if there are lumps in it and you press it against the pot, it breaks it all up. The lazy way of making this here is just to cover and let it steam for about 2 minutes. Then I add the porridge. After 2 minutes of cooking, I'm going to add a little of the porridge here and stir it all up. You will need some extra water to work on the pot here. Stir it all up. TZ or Tuozaafi is called Insima in some African countries, so we prepare it in slightly different ways but come out with the same product. When this is well mixed up, I'll add the remainder of the porridge. Add a little water to take out all the porridge. I learn not to leave anything in the bowl when I'm cooking. Make use of everything you have. Then I'll stir this up again until it's well mixed up. My Tuozaafi or Insima is done right now. And I'm putting it in a bowl here. You have to soak the ladle. But we use a calabash. I don't have a calabash here. My calabash is broken. So I'll fetch and put it here. I'm going to be using a ladle to fetch my TZ. So remember to soak it though in water and then put it here. You can put it in any form you want. Create some pattern here. I'm going to take everything off this pot. Scrape it all, put it up. And okay, there you have my Tuozaafi or Insima as it's called in other African countries. That will be eaten with spinach and okra soup here. In most African countries you can use different vegetables, but they are not here. That's why I've substituted spinach. You can use pumpkin leaves to go with the okra, or you use a leaf to go with the okra, and then it will be fine. Another time I'm going to be preparing a different soup with peanuts and vegetables that can easily go with the TZ as well.